Hey everybody, welcome back. David Eon and the absolutely stunning Miss Lady Pop Hunter here with a discussion, industry discussion, if you will. We do this from time to time. And as you all know, I mean, most of you who are familiar with the channel, you know we do the weekly roundup at the end of the week. And it's an action figure news kind of thing. And we talk about some of the stuff that's hitting the adult collector's market. Action figures, mostly. Sometimes we'll show other toys. Sometimes we'll show statues. I used to show more statues. I got away from that because the expense of them, the prices were so outrageous.
Yeah.
But I do see a lot of trending up on pricing, which doesn't really make much sense. This is why I give kudos so often to 3.0, because I'm like, they're still producing 6-scale figures with prices from years ago. It's still low. You know, their Power Ranges were all still around $100 for 6-scale, and it's like, that's not too bad, especially considering the current market. They can tell you shipping problems. They can tell you plastic costs more. They can make any excuse they want. Bottom line is it's getting more expensive, and you're getting less for it. And the question comes up, is it even worth it anymore to try to buy this stuff at retail, or are you better off waiting till aftermarket? Because we're seeing a trend aftermarket-wise that's kind of shocking as far as the action figure, even low end, not just high end, but low end is concerned.
Yeah, because you see, when you go to places like Ollie's and Big Lots, you'll see Legends figures, Star Wars figures, the Masters of the Universe figures in there.
They all ended up there, the Masters of the Universe.
And the stuff that it was hard to find at first, and they'll be on clearance for more than half of what it was going for retail. And then, you know, because I went there and to Ollie's, and I saw some of the Masters of the Universe, the new ones, because I was buying like the vehicles and some of the animals, and they were selling for $10.
Yeah.
When retail it was $20 and $30. So you're like, oh man, if I waited, but then it's like, okay, if you say no, I'll just wait. You don't know if that's the one that's gonna
drop or not,
drop in price, be on clearance, or be the one that goes up. And what brought this on is I was on Big Bad Toy Store, and I happened to look at their clearance section just to see what was there. And they were showing some stuff, you know, 35% off, 50% off, 75% off. And, you know, I looked at a few.
Stuff.
Yeah. And I looked at the Prim Studio Blitzway Joker. The bonus version was like $800. I think it was like $805. When retail, it was...
It's over 12, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was like $1,200, $1,300. So, you know, it's like... and I bought it.
Yeah, she has that. I bought
it.
We
like,
did an unboxing of that.
I pre-ordered mine. And, you know, I just saw some other things. You have Funko Pops on there. You have Star Wars. You have all of those things. And it's like, man, you know, do you wait? Or do you just say, no, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to just get it now and be done with it?
Yeah, because, I mean, not everybody can afford that. And that's getting to be a bigger and bigger issue with a lot of collectors also that are into the more modern action figures. I mean, and that's part of the reason why I backed away from a lot of the modern stuff where I'm just like, nah, I'm not going to get that anymore. I'd rather, if I'm going to be spending the money, rather get the vintage stuff. At least it doesn't fluctuate that much. Where this stuff, it seems like it's just bottoming out aftermarket. We're seeing this also... And not just with like common stuff like classifieds turned up, a lot of them at the Ollie's also.
Yeah.
Five Below's been getting them.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Big Lots.
Big Lots has Mego. You know, Mego
Yeah,
turned
somebody
up there
said
cheap.
that Mego is turning up
At Big Lots.
Big Lots.
Yeah, and for like half the price.
Yeah.
And when you're talking classifieds at Ollie's for $5.99, and you know, you're not going to find every one.
No.
Or even specialty stuff that doesn't get sold retail, like when the Bucky O'Hare stuff turned up at Ollie's.
Yeah.
She only found 2 of them.
I found 2.
But
still, that's 2 out of however many.
Yeah, for like $5.99 or $4.99 or something. They were cheap, and original retail was damn near $40, I think.
Yeah.
And how did they end up with them? Well, they aren't selling, and it clearances out, and that's the bottom line. That's where they drop to.
Yeah, and you see that a lot with Super 7, especially Super 7 stuff,
Aftermarket.
the Ultimates.
Yeah.
They run for $55, but if you wait, you'll find them on eBay for between $25 and $35. And it's usually all of them. But again, you know, it is a few like Toxic Crusader. That one, for some reason, took off.
Yeah.
You have a couple of the Thundercats that kind of took off. When I say took off, not that much, not like hundreds of dollars, but they were more than the $55 they started out as. Everything else usually drops in price.
Their reaction figures, their Shogun, like reimaginings, those are way cheaper aftermarket, like on eBay or whatever, than the original retail pricings. That's one of the reasons why also, because I really like their Peanuts, but I'm like, you know, the deluxe ones, the half scale ones,
for like $300.
$300 a piece. I'm like, but you know, are they going to turn up on eBay in 2 years for like $90? I mean, you never know. And that's not to say that at some point in the future stuff won't be worth more, because you never know. But you know, you could be talking 20, 30 years down the line. You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know, because look at the stuff that you buy now, the Masters of the Universe, the Brave Stars, the Cops figures, the G.I. Joe figures. You were finding them on clearance for $1, and we show some of them, and that still got the sticker on it.
Yeah, that's right.
And they have clearance stickers. And now trying to buy a carded figure will cost you a couple of $100 depending on who it is.
Yeah.
So you don't know. And it's like, okay, do I, again, like we said earlier, do I take the gamble and wait and see about a month or 2 after it's been out and everybody that got one got it, and see if it's going to, you know, price is going to drop, or if it's going to go to one of those clearance stores like Ollie's, Big Lots, Five Below, or do I just bite the bullet and buy it now?
Or you can find it cheaper aftermarket on like eBay, Mercari, or something like that, or even at the shows. We've been seeing at the shows Legend Series figures, Black Series figures, the Hasbro Classifieds, the G.I. Joe Classifieds, the Masters of the Universe figures selling for less than retail at conventions. Super 7 figures selling for less than retail. Dealers trying to get rid of them for $30 a piece.
Yeah,
you know, things like that.
Even the NECA stuff.
Yeah, NECA
Because
aftermarket.
NECA went way up on you too. What, they in the $40 range now?
Yeah, the $43, $45 retail, $48 some of them, but then aftermarket, a lot of those aren't holding up that well either.
Yeah, because I remember when those were $23.
And as far as in the future, also, one of the things that I always warn about with that is keep in mind that the toys and action figures from our time period, from when we were kids, you know, whatever you're looking at, whatever action figures you're interested in, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even 90s, kids opened and played with those. So even a loose mint example is tough.
Yeah.
It can be tough to come by, but nowadays there are people who open up these figures and display them or do something with them. Most people are not opening them up. I had mentioned the Mego earlier. Mego now either on clearance at Walmart or turning up at Big Lots now. But a lot of Mego collectors, they'll buy 10 of each figure. And I'm like, you realize there's a huge difference. It's like, again, back how many carded Star Trek figures were manufactured in 1974 by Mego, 90+% of them were opened and played with easily. But nowadays it's a complete reversal. 90% of them will never be opened. As a matter of fact, they'll be in pristine condition. There won't be any banged up cards like, you have to settle for sometimes now. We go like, well, I can't find this one too often, so yeah, it's got a crease in it, but that's okay. No, nobody's going to tolerate that. Look how picky Funko collectors are with those boxes. If there's a mark, they don't want them because there's so many of them.
Yeah, you waited long enough, you'll find one of the newer stuff. The older stuff, not so much.
Yeah, well, with Funko, it's pre-2015. So 2014 to 2010, when they first started making pops, they didn't make too many, to be honest. Especially chases, they really didn't do it. And then when they went into mass production in 2015, they started cranking them out. They made tons of them. There were more chases made. They changed it to a 1-in-6 ratio kind of thing. And so there's a lot of them out there from 2015 on. And so it's a lot to think about. It's like, do you hesitate? Do you wait now? More and more people are waiting. And especially when you're talking about really high-end stuff, you're seeing a lot of Hot Toys not doing well aftermarket either now. There, certain ones, a little bit, but other figures not holding up aftermarket, which is kind of surprising for such a high-end toy line that gets so much prestige. But you're almost better off waiting with those too.
Yeah, because if you go to Sideshow website, they got a huge clearance section.
Yeah, they do.
And it's like a lot off of the retail. So I mean, it's like, again, is it worth it to just jump the gun as soon as is advertised and go ahead and put in your pre-order, or do you wait?
Yeah, because you can't guess.
No.
That's the hard part, is like, do I wait? I mean, usually maybe convention exclusives will pan out better, but then those tend to go down too, but that not too much, but they will go down aftermarket after a while when the hype dies down.
Yeah.
If you really want them.
Yeah.
And I really feel bad for a lot of the statue collectors too. Looking at them, like one of the ones that caught my eye was the Prim Studio's Joker 1-to-1 scale bust. It's less than half price now on Big Bad Toy Store. And it's like, can you imagine how you would feel if you're the guy that paid, off the top of my head, I forget, what was it, like $4,500, and now it's like $2,000 or something.
Because I know I felt bad when I saw that Prim Studio.
Yeah.
Because it was the bonus version. I think they came out with that one. They came out with 3. I think they had the regular, the bonus, and the deluxe. But still, it was $805. I'm almost sure it was $805. It was somewhere in the $800 range compared to $15. And I'm like,
and if you're a statue collector,
and
you invest in a lot of those, you've got 50 statues, and now you're looking at them, and you've got to realize that, like, maybe they're worth as a whole 30% less than what you invested in it. And I know a lot of people, they have the mindset, and I totally get it, of like, well, I don't collect it because of the monetary value. I understand that, but you still have to consider it.
Well, I know.
Because have still, whether it's a hobby you enjoy or not, you've still invested in it. Yeah,
and like me, I don't look at the monetary value, but I know that, okay, I paid this amount. And if I had waited, I think that thing came out a year or 2 ago. If I had waited 2 years, I could have saved, what?
Like $400.
$400, $500.
That could go to anything else.
Go to another statue.
That's the point. It's like, I totally get that. It's the people's perspective of, okay, well, I collect for the enjoyment, and you can't worry about the price, but you do have to kind of worry about it to a point.
Yeah.
Because again, it is an investment. No matter why you're buying it, you're putting your time, your money, your energy into it.
Yeah.
So you always want to get the most out of it you can. And I think we're kind of reaching a saturation point with a lot of the modern collectibles, where if they've got so much of it, still taking up shelf space, ending up on clearance, ending up being sold to wholesalers like Ollie's and things like that, that maybe it's time for some of these companies to take stock of that and say, okay, you know what, maybe we should slow down a little bit.
Not just that, but they keep making the same figures over and over. And we've talked about that a million times. So I'm not going to go into that. But
yeah, Mattel's doing that right now with with more waves of Masters.
Yeah. They keep making the same figures over and over, and people are getting tired. Like, okay, now how much of this do I need? So that the prices of inflation is going up. Prices are going up. Quality is going down. So it's like, okay, one, you're making the same figures 1,000 times. Two, the prices are going up, not just on toys and action figures, but on everything, food, gas, utilities, everything is going up. And then when it does come to action figures and toys, the quality is going down. So do I really want to give you my money for something you already made for more and the quality is bad? So, and my answer is no. I've backed up a lot. I mean, I still got some stuff on Big Bad Toy Store that's on pre-order, but I haven't bought anything new in a while. Yeah, and I've backed off of it a lot too. I still like to look at the stuff and to show it and to talk about it. You know, share it with people and get their opinions. But as far as buying new stuff, I think I need to take. That's what I felt. Take a step back, take it into perspective, and just concentrate on what I know more so, which is the vintage stuff. Yeah. And personally, I think I enjoy that more. Yeah, I mean, stuff. Everybody got their thing, and that's cool. I'm just looking at it as one, again, like I said, the price keeps going up, the quality keeps going down, and we're getting too much repeats. Yeah. Even the last time on the roundup that I showed the Mattel, which is why I mentioned it earlier, with the Masters, I mean, they're completely reissuing the whole last wave with their new wave, but the whole last wave they're reissuing is currently on the pegs at Ollie's. So they didn't sell. Why are you making them again? Yeah. Who is buying these? I can't tell. You know, I just... And then the figures that you do make, I mean, again, alter the sculpt a little bit, add a piece of articulation or whatever, but it's still the 45th version of He-Man, you know? Yeah. And I mean, it's things that they can do. It's a million cartoons that was made. Yeah. If they say, okay, we want to continue with a vintage line, there are millions of cartoons. You got Jason and Wheel Warriors. I don't know who did that originally, but if you want to do stuff, you got that. You have what's that boy name we watching now? Race Bandit. Race Bandit. Johnny Quest. Johnny Quest. You could do Johnny Quest again. Star Blazers. I mean, it's just a lot of things that you can do to keep that money going, because people be like, oh man, they haven't come out with a Jason and Wheel Warriors in 40 years. When they do something weird with it, because you mentioned Johnny Quest, and you know, that's Hanna-Barbera. When Hanna-Barbera did dramatic cartoons in the 60s, one of the other ones that they used to do was the Herculoids, and they never made anything Herculoids, but recently, like
for one of the conventions some years back in their mid 2000s. They made Herculoids action figures for the show, and they hardly made any of them, and you can't find them, and they cost a damn fortune now. And it's like, but obviously people wanted them. You know, why can't we go back to that? Why can't we crank out some Hanna-Barbera stuff from back in the day? There was a lot of those dramatic cartoons people are familiar with.
Yeah.
That were pretty good cartoons. I don't know. I mean, or look at you had mentioned Brave Star. Brave Star is being made by Ramen Toys, but it's a bootleg. You know, or not a bootleg. It's a knockoff.
Yeah, it's a knockoff. It's a whole nother name,
but,
the Marshall.
Yeah, the Marshall. But it's not an official rendering at all. But it's selling and people want it.
Yeah.
Because they remember the show, and the original Mattel ones, those can get expensive. Sometimes vintage figures, they're not that bad. That's why we did the special. We did 3 videos, inexpensive action figures from 70s, 80s, 90s that you can still buy. But there's the niche ones that are expensive, like G.I. Joe and Masters of the Universe and Transformers. But there's a lot of other stuff that's cheaper. But there's plenty of franchises that have been around, even franchises that never had figures or toys, that you can explore.
Yeah, and you'll still hit the same target audience.
Yeah.
Because those are the people that remember it.
Yeah.
And you'll give them something fresh and new. You'll reignite the fire and desire and all of that, instead of just regurgitating the same thing over and over and over.
And people will get that fatigue from it. You know, they get sick and tired of it, which is happening now with Funko. I mean, people picked on me for years for saying, yeah, well, you know, it'll reach a saturation point. You don't know what you're talking about. We're at that saturation point because even diehard Funko collectors aren't buying the Pops anymore. You know, the retail space in the stores has shrunk to almost nothing because they're not moving now.
That is true. I have to admit.
Yeah, people get tired of the concept. And it's nothing against Funko. That's just the way it works.
Yeah.
You overdo it, people get tired of it. Especially if it's getting more expensive.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, basically the question ultimately is it worth it to keep pursuing the stuff and paying for it, or do you feel like you're better off just holding out now and waiting until it ends up on sale, ends up on clearance, ends up at a wholesaler?
Yeah.
You know, and then you can try to pick up the pieces then, and whatever you can't find there, look for it aftermarket on eBay or something, because again, odds are it's probably going to be cheaper anyways. It'll probably be cheaper on eBay after the fact in a lot of cases. Not all the time.
Not all the time.
But in a lot of cases, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, you just got to take that gamble. You got to decide if you want to take the gamble, I should say. And
how worth it is it to you in the long run? Yeah,
do you really need that figure?
Yeah, do you really need it?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are completists, and that's where they get them. You know, they feel like they have to have, they may came up with the same figure, but it's glow in the dark now. So I've got to get that one too. And there's an error figure where it's red instead of pink, and I need that one. And something. But that's how they get you. Mm-hmm. That's how they get you. So, I mean, I'll just throw it out there for the people that are watching. Thoughts? What do you think about all of that? Do you still want to jump on everything? Or do you think it might be worth it to wait? Now, I think definitely for a lot of the statue collectors, it's probably worth it to wait now. It seems like they all end up on clearance now.
Yeah.
But, again, what are your thoughts on that? You want to wait? You want to take the chance or I guess that's that FOMO, that fear of missing out.
Yeah, that's more it than anything else, because again, you don't know.
Yeah.
So
let us know what you think. And if that's it, and please do give the video a thumbs up, always appreciated.
Yeah.
But if that's it, then what more can we say? But thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.